The Hitman's Bodyguard feels like it was made in the 1990s, and the creators stuck it in a time capsule, not to be opened for 20 years, and then they pulled it out, and here's the film. And, that is for better and for worse. For me, I love stupid action films, so I really enjoyed the film. But at the same time, I can see that it's not good. But, it's a fun movie.
He's yelling! Jesus Christ! Really? What happened to the seatbelt rule?
So this was directed by Patrick Hughes, and it mainly stars Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. And, they're both playing Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson. That's, they're every character they play in every film. And this is, like, pure them. And I will say, Ryan Reynolds is, especially the advertising, but a little bit in the film, but really in the advertising, it feels like it's Deadpool. Like, Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool as this bodyguard. And, Samuel Jackson, he is probably the best part of the film, because he is, like, at full Samuel Jackson, saying mother effer this, mother effer that, and making funny faces. And, it's good, though. I mean, they have a decent back and forth, once they get going, like, they're kind of antagonists, but then they also kind of have a little bit of a bromance. And some of the stuff that happens, they're a good team. And, the action, for the most part, is pretty good. But at a certain point, like, towards the end, there's a lot of chase scenes. Like, there's, like, 3 back-to-back chase scenes that are, like, on cars, on motorcycles, on boats, on foot. And, like, toward the end, some of those get really choppy in the editing, and they do a little, like, shaky cam. And one, a fight scene that's towards the end after a chase is really the shakiest fight scene of the whole movie. But for the most part, it's filmed well. You can see what's going on, and it's a fun little action film. So Ryan Reynolds is a bodyguard, and in the beginning of the movie, he's like a AAA bodyguard, but then the person he's guarding is assassinated by a long-range sniper. And then Samuel Jackson is a lovable assassin. And sometimes like they keep going like as when they get together, there's a lot of backstory they have to go through, and it's a little much. Like they have to give everyone, oh, he's an assassin, but he's actually a good guy. He only kills bad people. And the bodyguard, he's actually kind of a bad guy because he protects bad people. Oh, you're really role reversal. I see what you're doing. And that is fine. And it works. But, at a certain point, like they kind of do, it's a little much. And at the same time, the movie is a little long. It's a little bloated. And I really think that towards the end, all the chase scenes, you could have cut them down. You could have cut down like 10, 15 minutes out of them, and they probably would have been a lot tighter of a film. And maybe, some of the flashback scenes, like, I like them, but I don't know how necessary they were. Like, I like that you got to see Samuel Jackson meeting Salma Hayek, and she was really funny. And then the interplay between them and the things they have to do is pretty cool. But the characters between Ryan Reynolds and Elektra, Elodie Young, it's kind of cool when you think about it. There's Elektra, Deadpool, and Nick Fury in one movie. But, they're not playing those characters. And, their relationship is kind of goofy. Basically, Ryan Reynolds blames her for the guy, like she told him about the guy he was guarding. And she thinks that the Interpol got rid of him. Of course, it doesn't really make any sense. Especially that when you see a person that you're talking with is an assassin, so stuff's going to go on there. But, it's a fun little movie. I had a lot of fun with it. Cause when I was watching it, I was like, I know it's not a good movie. That's the weird thing, I can really enjoy kind of the dumb, like, shitty action films. I like action flicks. I like, the old 90s action flicks. So, like, this movie, I enjoyed it a lot. But, again, it's not a good movie. Like, you can watch it and you know that it's not a good movie even as you're enjoying it. Gary Oldman plays the main villain, and he's a little bit, like, out of a different film. But, like, he's, like, in flashback scenes, he's, like, torturing people, and he's playing really goofy. And also, it leads to the thing where some of the things don't really make sense. Because, they're in Europe. They're in, like, the Amsterdam and all places like that. And it's a lot tougher to get guns in Europe. And yet, these underlings of this war criminal, they're able to go across all these borders, and they have explosives, and they have machine guns, and they have, like, hundreds of operatives. And it's like, how would he do that? You can't do that. Where to get these guns? How would he get them across the borders? How would any of that work? And, it's just, okay, you have to, you gotta shut off. You gotta not think about that and just have them be cannon fodder for Ryan Reynolds and Samuel L. Jackson to kill. And, it's fine like that. But at the same time, it's a little unbelievable. Like, and Interpol, like, they're somehow able to have a mole in the Interpol, and they never really explained that well enough. But, it is what it is. Every movie has that. Every action movie, especially if it's set in Europe, has this thing where you kind of go for a second, like, how would they do that? And, it may make a lot more sense if they all had knives. Then they could maybe get that many operatives in. But, that's why the reason you see terrorists attack there. There's always, like, with vehicles or with knives, generally. In America, if there are attacks or any violence, a lot of it is gun violence. There's not that many guns over there. I will say also that the tone is a little off some of the time. Like, they can't decide whether to be, like, an action film or a comedy. And, like, some of the scenes that the pacing is a little off. Again, like, I felt like it really could have been tightened up. But at the same time, I can't really complain that much because I liked all the scenes. Like, all of the really long chase scenes. Like, I watched them and I was like, they could have ended this a while ago. But at the same time, they're enjoyable. So, I mean, the whole movie is like that. Like, you could cut a lot of things, but it's enjoyable. You could not watch it, but I had a lot of fun with it, Like, if you like action films, you'll probably like this, and you should go check it out. Like, it's a fun movie, especially on the big screen. But, if you can't turn your brain off and you may not like action films that are kind of stupid, then you should stay away from it. And, maybe you could check it on TV like a year later or something. I give it like an 8 out of 10, really. Like, I know it's a high rating, but I enjoyed it a lot. So, thanks for watching, and if you want to see my other videos, you can check out my playlist Around My Head, or subscribe to me over here. Thanks.